This is the Movie Hall of Fame Class of 2002 edition for Thursday, October 17th, 2019. Adam Hall, how are you?
I'm okay. How you doing over there?
I'm good.
Yeah.
If you are a loyal patron of this podcast, which there are some.
There's a few.
Yeah.
And they're furious right now.
They are.
They are absolutely furious.
We flipped the script on you guys. Because I quickly realized I've had a really busy week of podcasting. We've been doing a lot of shows. And they've been good shows, I would say. What do you think?
I would say they were great shows.
Yeah.
Great shows.
Yeah, I think we're kind of on a nice run. And in that excitement and in that binge watching, I just didn't get a chance to rewatch or watch for the first time some of the movies from 1962.
Yeah, you it's hard to squeeze in the longest movies ever made.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have to watch The Longest Day. And actually, I think that movie should be called The Second Longest Day. Because The Longest Day would be the day I have to actually sit down and watch The Longest Day.
Yep.
That's how, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm stuck with. So, we had to change, call an audible last second. I'm like Tom Brady, audibling out of the defense.
Oh,
I see the
God.
blitz coming. I can feel it, the pocket pressure.
I don't want to hear your football analogies right now. I'm not giving you an excuse.
Excuse me?
Fuck Tom Brady.
Excuse me?
I'm done with you.
Are you aware that the New York Jets got their first win of the season last week? Or yesterday?
I'm acutely aware.
Yeah,
And
okay.
and I thought of you.
I'm back, baby.
I was out at Buffalo Wild Wings with Abby, her sister, and Bree. So it was me and the girls.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
What else is new?
Yeah.
It just,
yeah, exactly.
I think we just call that group the girls for short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That includes me.
Yeah.
I'm one with the girls.
That's the joke, Adam. Yes.
Okay.
Thanks for picking up on that.
Yeah. I
Thanks
got
for
you.
picking up on it.
I have to pick apart his jokes so that they're not funny.
That explains so much.
Yeah, it's like everything that ever comes out of my mouth on every podcast we've done in the past. What is it? 3 years?
Has it been that long?
I think it's actually been technically 4 years, if you're counting my Star Wars podcast, which is 2015.
Oh my God, December of 2015.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. And that would have been the first day I met you? Did I meet you any other time? No, I think that was it.
Yeah, I think that was the first, because the only other time we had any interaction was at Nick's 4th of July party, which was 2016, like the following, yeah, that coming 4th of July.
And that was the year that Nick went away for a couple months.
Yep.
And yeah, then you came on. Oh my God, it's been over 3 years. God damn it. I've been doing this with over 3 years with you?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. What is happening with my life?
And if we're talking about movie hopping in general...
It's just fading away.
Yeah. No, movie hopping / Movie Hall of Fame would have been 2017 because we started with Alien Covenant, which was 2017.
Which was the May of... Yeah, and I think we tried that as a video show at first, right?
Yeah, we did a few video shows.
Yeah, we gave up on that pipe dream real quick.
Yeah, I know, it's okay.
It's the worst.
It was the lights. That's it.
Dude, I'm just letting y'all know right now. Because people, like... When they say, oh, I want to do a podcast, I'm going to do it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I just tread lightly because it is brutal. I can't tell you how many times I've tried doing video. And it's just it's a whole day thing.
Oh, shooting a video?
Yeah.
Yeah. As someone who does it every once in a while, it's like, it can be pretty grueling and depressing.
Right.
And then the process of putting it together is just rough. It's nice when it finally comes together, but again, it's not like this where we can just kind of sit back and relax and do our thing.
Right. And I'm also like sure there are people that are comfortable just putting the camera on like a simple webcam on top of their computer and just going. But I think you and I are both incapable of that.
That's just a sad look. I mean, we're sad enough as it is sitting here.
No, honestly, I think if we did it, it would be so much easier, and I don't think anyone would mind. But just for our own sanity, we don't have that level of don't give a shit.
We're getting there. I mean, what we really need is to step up our game and find new quarters and hire a crew and pay them regularly.
Right.
And then
pay them SAG-AFTRA scale.
Pay them in potatoes or whatever the hell people do nowadays.
I mean, we only hire union here.
Yeah,
we don't cross the picket line, so it's kind of expensive. Craft services.
Dude,
it's tough, man. It's tough making a movie.
We would be the single worst business to grace this earth, I think.
So much waste.
We could pay them in our pretzels. We have some good food here.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get some ASMR going.
Are you announcing the search for the TMT intern? Is that what's happening right now?
Putting it out there. If you work for us, we will give you Bachman's bite-sized mini-baked pretzels. Yeah.
Give me some of those, by the way. I haven't eaten that much today. You think we could trick some college student into interning for us?
Oh my god, dude! College students are the dumbest motherfuckers. We could do whatever we want.
You think?
Yeah.
We'll give you school credit.
Mm-hmm. School credit. We'll tell you you're changing the world somehow.
We could definitely find a 4-year university that'll accreditate us. I guarantee you.
What degree would we be in? Journalism?
Well, that's an excellent question.
Yeah, it's what the hell are we? I guess we're kind of communication, but really? Come on. Let's be realistic now.
Okay. We're kind of communication, but we're definitely not journalism. That's all I know for a fact.
Well, we have to advertise ourselves. We have interviewed subject A, B, C, and D, and they were all great, and we learned a lot about them and the industry, I suppose.
Well, we're closer to maybe abstract art. Maybe we could get a fine arts internship going.
Yeah, we'll have David Lynch do a masterclass.
Yeah.
The radio version masterclass. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we'll just and it'll seem like David Lynch, but really it's Jabril doing the voice the whole time.
Great point.
We can trick them all.
You think? Yo.
We have not capitalized on Jabril to trick people enough.
Okay. Hear me out.
Okay.
I know this is probably a bad plan because now we've put it out there on the internet.
Yeah,
and people understand our scam. It's just out in the open.
We could edit this out, but we're not going to.
We're not going to. But I honestly think if we said a sit down with David Lynch and we played it totally straight, Jabril didn't do his, oh, hello there, Adam. I like getting a finger up my ass. If he just played it straight and he did his best to stay in character, we could pass it for a 10-minute interview.
Yeah, sure. Oh, you mean convincingly fake it out?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that illegal?
Yes, but
it's illegal to impersonate someone on a podcast.
If we don't. If we were monetizing
what if we
the video,
spelled David Lynch wrong? What if we spelled Lynch with an I?
Lynch. Dave. It's the other David Lynch,
right?
Who sounds exactly like the David
and
Lynch.
Also happened to make an independent film called Wild at Heart. I think we could do it. I'm in.
It's worth a shot, I guess.
I'm in.
Would we? I guess we.
Even if we get sued by David Lynch again.
That's the thing. That's what I'm worried about more than anything. Because what if it goes viral and they figure out oh, David Lynch did this weird interview with these people on a podcast.
Turns out David Lynch is a member of the Communist Party.
Yeah. We could just make David Lynch out to be the worst fucking human being ever. How many people have you killed?
What if we had David Lynch speaking about the Hong Kong protesters? And we just started an international incident.
You know what we could really do to just piss off film fans is that he expunges all of his secrets about his films. He finally reveals everything.
He just says what the hell was going on.
And it just makes him look like a fucking moron.
Yeah, it turns out the Black Lodge was Cooper's dream the entire time.
I had that dream sitting on the toilet, and I looked down into the bowl when I was done, and there was the Black Lodge.
Oh, fuck. All right, I'm going to nip this in the bud right now.
Okay,
Let's start. Let's get this thing going. So, we're not doing 1962. We'll be doing that next week.
Yep.
And, I guess here's... So my autonomy now carries over to next week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It does.
All right, good.
Yeah.
So, you don't want me choosing... I don't want to fucking choose this year anymore.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Okay, good. So, here's the year 2002. The two of us nominated these two films in secrecy.
Last night.
Yeah, last night. Watch out, man.
Yeah,
careful. Mm-hmm. We don't want to die before we get David Lynch on the podcast. Your nominees: Panic Room, Spider-Man, The Bourne Identity, Gangs of New York, Catch Me If You Can, and Minority Report.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. Well, here's the first thing I realized, because I'm looking at these nominees, and I wouldn't call it a bad list.
No, I maybe this says something about the year, because I looked through the entire list of movies, and I'm like, Jesus, what the hell does win?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, there's no obvious winner, which is cool.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't even think there's an obvious top 2 or top 3.
Yeah. I would even say we left out a few films that would be in contention for top 2 or top 3.
Right. And I'm looking at these two like, I don't know. I think I've only ruled out one, if I'm being honest with you. I have only absolutely positively ruled out one. The other 5 I could be convinced of. And I hope that one of us figures out a way to pare this down, because I have no idea where this is going to go today.
I don't know if I've ruled out a single one, honestly.
Yeah.
Because they hit very different marks on each of our criteria.
Right.
So I
would also say, too, this is the most mainstream list we've done in a very long time.
by a mile.
And I sort of had some apprehensions about that last night.
These are like the best of the best when it comes to mainstream, thank God. But
right.
Yeah, you don't get much different than this. I mean, I was even trying to go weird, as I usually do.
Sure.
But
we normally like to throw in 1 or 2 weird ones.
Yeah, exactly. As you should. It's nice to have a conversation about films that were big, but weren't necessarily, big to a certain crowd.
Sure.
And these were just big. Just big with a capital B.
Yeah.
So.
And look, I don't think that's a surprise. I think you mentioned that last night, too, because this was an era, 2002, 2003, where blockbusters started becoming the dominant art form again. Yes. And Hollywood goes in these waves. Mm-hmm. Like, you have the 70s, which is all auteur shit, big budgets, but really transgressive, revolutionary art. And then you have the 80s, which was a reaction, and it was very safe, and teen comedies were the hot thing. Then the 90s come along, and the independent scene blows up, and you have Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez and Steven Soderbergh making interesting art again. And then after those movies sort of faded into oblivion and they weren't as dependable at the box office, Hollywood once again says, let's start pouring movies into franchises and action capers. And that's what you have here, basically. You have a lot of safe, mainstream, good cable movies, I would say, but nothing that changed the game.
That's the problem. When we're discussing impact, I don't think there's a single one of these movies that have an impact, aside from, I guess, Spider-Man.
Well,
but like,
not an impact in the way that we like to define impact. Exactly. Right?
Yeah, they all have a legacy to a certain extent.
Sure,
but especially the Bourne movie.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
No, I didn't.
Because there's an entry called
Bourne Legacy.
Bourne Legacy.
We don't acknowledge that one. Yes, we do. I love it.
I was going to say, I thought we don't acknowledge Jason Bourne.
Renner, baby! Treadstone. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I know.
We'll talk about it.
Weird year.
Highest grossing movie of 2002 is...
Spider-Man.
No? Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Oh, that's one that I consider nominating, but it's actually my least favorite of that trilogy.
You know this, I think, right? We've talked about this. That's actually my favorite of the trilogy.
I know, and I think that's weird.
Yeah?
Weird, yeah.
See, I just think it's just the simplest premise. It's just like a fight scene for 2 hours.
I feel that way about the third one. The third one to me is a fight, because in my opinion, Two Towers is a lot of walking and talking. Like when they're going through Rohan, I mean, that's a large chunk of the movie.
I don't know, man.
And then the fucking Ents just explaining to Merry and Pippin why they love the forest so much. Takes a long time.
The talking trees are a bit much, yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of dig it. I just feel... Also, it's a good Gollum movie.
That's the real highlight of it.
Yeah, you get the introduction to Gollum, although you have a little bit of him in part 3. Part 2 is... That's the meat and potatoes of that character.
I think it gets even better, though, in part 3. Okay. I just think the best balance you struck out of, like, exploring the lore, but also making it fun was that first movie.
Okay.
I hate to be that person, but the first is by far my favorite.
I should mention, by the way, I don't like those movies, and I have no problem with it not getting nominated.
Yeah.
You also have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets at number 2, Spider-Man at number 3, a little film called Star Wars Attack of the Clones at number 4.
Oh, yeah, a little movie like that.
And Men in Black 2 at number 5.
I had someone a couple months ago come to me and say that they thought Last Jedi was the second worst, right in front of Attack of the Clones.
Okay, so if you shot that person on scene, you're not gonna get away with it. I'm just gonna tell you that right now.
I know.
I hate to break to you, but if I was on the jury, I would stand up for you.
Thank you, Nico.
That's all.
I don't think they would let you on the jury now because no one likes you on a jury when it comes to judges and whatnot.
That's a great point. I'm only going to be on the receiving end of that from here on out. Winner of Best Picture was strange. Here are your nominees.
I actually don't know what this was.
Oh, you don't? You really don't?
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Well, I'll give you the 5. I'm sure you know it if I read you the 5.
Okay.
You got The Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, The Hours, Gangs of New York, Chicago, and The Pianist.
Chicago
is your winner of Best Picture. And Roman Polanski wins
Best Director
for The Pianist.
which is another one I considered nominating, but I wasn't entirely sure.
I've never seen it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man, The Pianist is great.
I've never seen it.
Oh, my God, it's better than at least 2 of the films on this list.
Really?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay.
Damn. Damn, we fucked up.
All right, I apologize then. Look, I'll take the bullet for that. I haven't seen it. Maybe if I had seen it, I would have nominated it.
Wow,
But,
The Pianist is great.
okay, but often a very controversial choice for Best Director because
What?
Roman Polanski
Polanski?
was like a fugitive from the law and definitely raped a little girl, and everybody knew that he raped a little girl, and they just gave him the Oscar anyway. And they're like, yeah, Hollywood.
Whether he should have won, I don't know.
How did that fly is all I want to know.
Because it was 2002, and times were different.
Did we not know that raping little girls was bad in 2002?
Oh, I don't know.
See, I'm not convinced of this. When everyone's like, oh, the Me Too movement has brought so much to light, and now we know Roman Polanski's a bad guy. Like, I don't know. I was alive in 2002. I don't remember the ethics of Hollywood being so blurred.
Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they were just that objective about it, and they were like, this is clearly the best movie. I mean, at that time, Woody Allen didn't know that raping little girls is bad.
Okay, we don't... I'm not going to get into that.
I knew you were going to say that.
Not touching that with a 10-foot fucking pole.
I know.
Best actor is Adrian Brody from The Pianist.
Mm-hmm.
And then Best Actress, you got Nicole Kidman for The Hours. I haven't seen The Hours either.
Me neither.
I'm sorry, everybody. Also, you got Chris Cooper for Adaptation.
Which is another one that I was considering nominating. I had seen like part of it. I don't think I've seen the film in full, though.
That's Jones and Kaufman, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've seen a couple scenes with Chris Cooper, and he's like remarkable in the film.
Really?
But it's like, but Nick Cage is. I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for that movie because he's playing a dual performance, and it's awesome.
Okay.
It's really, really awesome. But again, I haven't seen it in full, so I didn't feel right nominating it. Although it could have been one of those movies that I said, let's just watch it and see how it is.
Yeah. And then Catherine Zeta-Jones, Best Supporting Actress for Chicago.
Seems weird.
Just a strange choice. I don't know. The Oscars do weird things.
I know.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
The Razzies were kind of fun. Among the nominees for Worst Picture, you have Pinocchio, the Italian adaptation, Crossroads, the Britney Spears movie.
What?
Crossroads? So bad. The Adventures of Pluto Nash.
What?
Star Wars, Attack of the Clones, and your winner, Swept Away. I don't know what that is. Roberto Benigni.
Poor Roberto Benigni.
Wins Worst Actor for his adaptation of Pinocchio. Oh my God. What a great year for Worst Actress. Here are your nominees. It's amazing. Okay. Winona Ryder for Mr. Deeds. Jennifer Lopez in Enough. Angelina Jolie in Life or Something Like It. And here are your 2 winners. There was a tie.
Oh my God. I love the Razzies.
Buckle in. Madonna for Swept Away and Britney Spears for Crossroads.
Oh man. Oh, they oh God. Yeah.
They couldn't help themselves.
It's perfect.
They couldn't help themselves.
Way too perfect.
So good.
I would have done the same thing.
So good. Madonna and Britney Spears, a dual Razzie.
Did they accept their awards?
I don't believe they did. Hayden Christensen, a well-earned Worst Supporting Actor for Attack of the Clones.
Oh, that's like iconically bad.
So good.
Yeah.
That's a great choice. You know who never gets it wrong? The Razzies.
Well, I don't think anyone cares at the end of the day. Yeah, you do. How do you judge whether or not they got it wrong? That's a good question, though.
The Razzies?
Yeah.
Well, I think the legacy of bad movies is about as dependable as the legacy of good movies. I think it's fairly indicative.
I guess, but there's a point like psychologically where you go, okay, it's bad, and I don't care anymore. It's all the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless it's like a special bad, and there are very few movies that are a special bad.
Well, The Room I don't believe has a Razzie, but it definitely should have gotten the Razzie, right?
If they ever do like an honorary Razzie, that should be the movie. Like every movie, that should be the template for every Razzie award ever,
right?
In my opinion,
right? Yeah, the Wiseau Award.
Don't
we do that on the Watatties?
That's what we're the I don't know. I think we're the cornerstone of bad awards. On Why Is This a Thing?
I think you're right.
I really do.
I think the Watatties got to start broadcasting those.
I think the reason I grew to really love this show, guys, I'm going to sit here as like someone being interviewed. The reason I grew to love Why Is This a Thing is strictly because of our award show, because it is brilliant.
Be honest. If you did a poll of every person in America and you're like, you're going to watch the Razzies for an hour or you're going to watch the Independent Spirit Awards for an hour, honestly, what do you think they choose?
Probably the Razzies.
No, I meant the Watatties, bro.
Oh, the Watatties.
The Watatties.
You think they're going to do the Watatties?
I think so. I think definitely they'd rather watch the Watatties.
We gotta, first of all, we gotta record it, and then we gotta have our nominees on. We could get a few.
That's a great point. You know what? We got to start getting acceptance speeches. We'll talk about that off air. I love that idea. All right, let's jump right in. Oh no, I'm sorry. I had honorable mentions. This cold open is going extra long today. We're feeling a little loose.
It's okay.
Honorable mentions. The Ring.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen.
Great.
Very good. Okay.
Very good.
Road to Perdition.
Oh, I love that movie. Oddly.
I also haven't seen it.
What? Oh my God, you have not seen anything of this year.
It's a real blind spot, 2002.
Road to Perdition is a unseen Sam Mendes film, and a pretty good Tom Hanks performance, and also a pretty good Paul Newman performance, with some great cinematography by the late Conrad Hall, one of the great cinematographers who ever lived, and it's basically the leader of Roger Deakins. So if you don't have Conrad Hall, you don't have Roger Deakins. So
okay, Road to Perdition.
Yeah.
Red Dragon, which you think is better than Hannibal, and you're just wrong.
No. Dude, Hannibal. Hannibal should be a Why Is This a Thing? That movie sucks.
Oh, stop it!
That movie's terrible.
That's your boy.
I don't care.
That's Ridley Scott.
I don't care, dude.
His blood is on your hands.
That man made G.I. Jane.
God. He also made what was that movie with was it Angelina Jolie and Cameron Diaz? Or no, was Angelina Jolie in that? The Accountant. No, not the Accountant.
The Counselor.
Counselor,
which apparently is just awful.
See, we need to do that for Why Is This a Thing one of these days.
Apparently it's in that like Serenity vein, but it's written by Cormac McCarthy.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Not based on a Cormac McCarthy novel though.
No.
It's a script, yeah.
From what I understand, yes.
Yeah, maybe next month.
We should probably
The Counselor.
do that. Yeah.
1 Hour Photo is not a great movie, but it has a great Robin Williams performance in it. So I put that on. The Hours we talked about. Bowling for Columbine, I guess, is an important movie. It gave us Michael Moore. It came to define political documentaries for the next 20 years or so.
For better or worse?
Yeah, for better or worse, I guess. I think it's actually a pretty good documentary, even though I don't agree with everything in it. And same goes for Jackass, the movie.
In a way, I could have done that.
Which...
Did the 25th Hour come out, too?
Yes, 25th Hour came out that year.
The few modern good Spike Lee movies.
Yes, a really good Spike Lee movie, actually. It's probably in the top 5. I came close to putting 8 Mile on there just for shiggles.
I almost was, too. I like 8 Mile
I like 8 Mile a lot, and it gave us one of the great movie songs of all time, and Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
It's not great, though. I acknowledge that it's simply entertaining because it's a good rap movie with Eminem in it.
And Eminem's pretty good in it.
He is. He is actually pretty good in it. Yeah. Signs.
Oh, Signs. I like Signs.
Yeah, before M. Night Shyamalan jumped the shark.
There are no pun intended, but there are signs of him doing that in Signs. Like you watch that movie and you're like, that was a weird choice. That's weird.
Yes.
That line makes absolutely no sense.
There were glimpses, yeah.
Yeah. That's the first indicator, in my opinion.
Good point. I like how you put that. About a Boy came out that year. Lilo and Stitch came out that year.
Which I like.
Sure. Ice Age came out that year.
Which I really like.
I like Lilo and Stitch better.
Really? Oh, that's different. Okay.
I like Ice Age, though.
Fine.
Pianist, we said. Blade 2.
Whatever.
28 Days Later, we mentioned. You didn't put it on. And the other two that I was considering at the last second, and I went with Minority Report instead, About Schmidt, which is a really good Alexander Payne movie.
I have not seen it.
Okay. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
Jack's awesome in it.
Did he win for that, or was he nominated?
I think he was nominated. Well, yeah, we just said that he didn't. But yeah, he was.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Adrian
that's
Brody.
right. That's right, yeah.
Good list, by the way, for Best Actor. Adrian Brody, Nicolas Cage, Michael Caine, Daniel Day-Lewis, Jack Nicholson.
Really good.
Pretty good
Nicolas
list.
Cage. Jesus Christ.
So that was in the mix for me, and also Punch Drunk Love just missed the cut.
I know, which is a movie I love quite a bit.
Yeah,
But
I love it too.
yeah.
Didn't feel right, though.
No, well, I can honestly say I don't love it as much as I think any one of the films on this list.
Okay.
So
I just felt a little insignificant.
yeah, well, it is.
Right?
But
That's a good thing, right?
I do feel bad. It's one of those like really, really good films that's not championed enough. It feels like Paul Thomas Anderson's Jackie Brown
Yeah.
in that way. So
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's start with Panic Room. Speaking of underappreciated movies, we were talking before we started today. Panic Room is like the only place we overlap on David Fincher.
like completely, where I feel like we hit all the same marks entirely. Where it's like, yes, we finally agree on everything about this movie.
We are 100% on the same page with Panic Room,
Yep.
and there's a reason for this. Because it's not a great movie, and the movie knows it's not a great movie, and you and I both know it's not a great movie, but it's a really fun, like, people in a house movie. Like, sort of Hitchcock light, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think well, that's a great way to put it. I think it's very much Hitchcock. I've said this, God, like I don't even want to count how many shows, but I bring this movie up a lot when I talk about contemporary Hitchcock.
Yeah.
And this, in my opinion, is the best. Like, if you were to take the sensibilities of Hitchcock and update them for today, this is pretty much lightning in a bottle right here.
Right.
I don't think it's maybe not a great. It's not a great story or anything like that.
No,
It's
certainly not. Not a great script.
Not the best script in the. It is, however, a great thriller.
Yeah.
I think it's suspenseful as all hell.
Yeah.
And I think the performances are all pretty much great across the board, with just the tightest direction you're ever gonna find.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, like, it's like if you want a good like just like raw version of what makes David Fincher good in a short, concise little thing, this is one of the greater movies to show you that.
Yeah, I think, well, let me put it this way. It shows you why David Fincher is good, but not necessarily why David Fincher is great.
No.
And that's sort of a double-edged sword. I think if you go into this movie not expecting much, and you almost forget that David Fincher directed it, you'll appreciate it a lot more. And I think the first time I saw it, my expectations were very low. This is the type of movie Fincher does every once in a while, and I'll be honest, it kind of annoys me because the guy is so good at what he does, and to just waste that talent on something so insignificant is sometimes frustrating. You feel that way when you watch The Game.
Yes.
You feel that way when you watch Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. You even feel that way with Gone Girl. I gotta be honest. Like, Gone Girl is just sort of a silly housewives thriller, and could have been, he could have been using that energy on something so much greater. But the guy just sort of likes style. I mean, I think he's more into style than he is substance, and this is a perfect example of that.
It's another example of a director where, to me, the style becomes that substance. You don't have a lot of what makes this movie great without its sense of atmosphere and the thrill and the way it moves throughout the scene, and just this wonderful sense of geography. This movie does something that a lot of movies of this nature don't do very well, is that it does a great job of establishing a sense of place.
Yeah.
And everywhere the camera's going to be, or everywhere you're going to be as a member of the audience, and planting it and setting it up and paying it off wonderfully. I find the movie to be like it's if you're talking about like constructing a movie on a scene by scene basis, you don't get much better than this. I think in a lot of ways, I do think it does highlight a lot about what makes Fincher great. Not so much. The script and the direction are two very different things in this case. I think the script, like you said, is kind of like whatever. It's certainly not bad, but it's like it is what it is.
And it's funny because I saw in my research they paid a shit ton for this script.
It's a David Koepp script,
right? Who did Jurassic Park and Mission Impossible, and by the way, this year's Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, huge director, but he wrote it in like 6 days, and it's a very like insignificant feeling script.
I know because it is. I mean, the story itself, it's like, oh, anybody kind of could have written this.
Yeah,
but it's what I will say is that when you make a script like this that is so I guess, stripped down to the bare bones of storytelling. I mean, it just leaves a director just a wonderful canvas to work with.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that's why this movie shines so much, is because Fincher's like, okay, I understand that we're not reinventing the wheel here. I'm not telling the most groundbreaking story ever, but I can at least tell this contained thriller break-in story and do it better than maybe anybody has before. At least one of the better versions of that story.
It's like Fincher's After Hours.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
After Hours is another thing, like kind of unremarkable script, but just an exercise in style.
An excellent direction. And I think it's his most underrated film.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. I think it's a really fun cable movie. The reason that I think we overlap is because it's the one that you acknowledge is not trying to be a masterpiece, and you would never argue that it's a masterpiece.
No.
And I'm totally fine with you not thinking it's a masterpiece. And
I don't think every David Fincher film is a masterpiece.
well, you think a lot of them are.
I think there are 4 at least that are definitive
That
masterpieces.
is a big number.
I don't care.
That is a big fucking number.
But even the ones that
for a guy that's not Stanley Kubrick, I'm sorry, bro. How many masterpieces does Stanley Kubrick have? Like 5?
Yeah, probably.
So to say Fincher has one less than Stanley Kubrick is a little crazy to me.
David Lynch probably has 4.
That's, again, a little too high, but okay.
No, I would say that. Yeah, David Lynch probably has 4.
All right.
I mean, I think they're obvious though in the realm of movies, and I think most people would agree with me. It's not like I'm saying Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is a masterpiece. I say I like that movie. In fact, I love that movie. But
you love Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
I actually rewatched it the other day, and I'm like, yeah, I still love this movie.
You love it?
Yeah, I think it's a ton of fun.
You think that movie's fun?
Yeah. A movie.
Which rape scene did you prefer?
The first one.
Okay, the first one, you had a lot more fun during that scene?
Yeah, precisely.
How can you call that movie fun? It's so bleak.
So what?
There's nothing funny about it whatsoever.
I didn't say funny. That's different. No, the movie is so goddamn exciting. I love it. I love that story. I love what they do with everything. I think it's actually a complicated plot that I can get invested in, unlike some other films. It's great.
We should mention, by the way, Panic Room stars Jodie Foster, Kristen Stewart, Forrest Whitaker, and Jared Leto, who, god damn it, do I like in this movie.
Me too.
I'm sorry. Sue me.
No, I just think he's perfectly cast.
Yeah.
And it's nice that Fincher actually realizes that. Like, he at least has a sense of humor about the people he casts. And it's nice
he cast Jared Leto as a douchebag.
Yeah.
Which is... No, it's the exact same thing he did with Ben Affleck in Gone Girl.
He even said to Ben Affleck, like, one of the reasons I want to cast you is because you understand exactly what it feels like to be persecuted by the media and whatnot, but at the same time you
deserve it.
Yeah. Precisely.
The truth is, Ben, you're insufferable, and I need this character to be just as insufferable as me, David Fincher. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a fun movie. The plot essentially is that a divorced woman and her diabetic daughter take refuge in their newly purchased house's safe room when 3 men break in, searching for a missing fortune. So I read this. This was kind of interesting. Though Panic Room is not technically a remake, it somewhat mirrors the plot and characters of Wait Until Dark from 1967, which I guess is an Audrey Hepburn movie. And I was like looking into this, and it looked like really cool. Alan Arkin and Audrey Hepburn. Here's the plot of this one. A recently blinded woman is terrorized by a trio of thugs while they search for a heroin stuffed doll they believe is in her apartment.
So it's like the reverse of Don't Breathe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I must see this movie because apparently it's really good.
Okay.
We need to do that. That came out in 1967.
That's a great premise.
Yeah. So I guess the antagonists in those movies are 3 criminals. One who has compassion, like Burnham. Mm-hmm. Another who's a hardened criminal, like Junior. And one who is a ruthless psychopath, like Raoul. The 3 men charade their way into the blind woman's brownstone apartment in search of a doll filled with heroin. But they realize they have drastically underestimated her wits once they initiate a game of cat and mouse with her.
Yep.
It's like kind of a horror movie, I guess.
Yeah.
67. I got to see it.
I love that stuff, though. But those are the kind of movies that I love, like, dearly, when they're done well, of course.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't have any issue with David Fincher going to make a movie like this, especially when you have the Spielbergs of the world who do stuff like this all the time.
That's true.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the director deciding, like, in the words of David Fincher, I don't have any problems going to make a movie, because I will go and make my films, and I will make my movies. This one is a movie, whereas, like, Fight Club is probably a film. And I'm like, yep.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can hear his voice in yours. That's what's just turning me off right now.
I think it's a very eloquent way of putting it, though.
Okay. I like Panic Room a lot. There's no chance of putting it in the Movie Hall of Fame, but I like it quite a bit.
I don't think it's the weakest one on here, though, and you're going to be very annoyed with what I think is the weakest.
Yeah, I'm ready to be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I know exactly where you're going, but we'll talk about it. Yeah. All right. That's Panic Room. Let's talk Spider-Man.
Yeah.
2002. The original Spider-Man. Man, we've come so far, haven't we?
Unfortunately.
In a very short period of time.
It's actually kind of sad. Who would have thought that we would be here after this movie?
17 years later. What are we? 7 Spider-Man movies deep?
Something like that.
3 of these, 2 Andrew Garfield ones,
and then 2 more Tom Holland films, plus Civil War, plus both Avengers films.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So look, we've gone through the looking glass and there's no going back. But it is fun to imagine a simpler time when Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin fought Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe in a Power Rangers uniform fighting Spider-Man.
You know what's fun watching this movie? Because, of course, I revisit it maybe once every 3 months or so when it's on cable, is just remembering that James Franco was in it. And what a simpler time it was when James Franco was playing Spider-Man's buddy in a movie, you know?
Before we really knew him as James Franco,
right.
Ultimately.
And we grew to hate him, really.
Yeah, unfortunately.
This is before we started hating James Franco.
Even within this series, you grow to hate James Franco.
Yeah. What's the best part of Spider-Man, the original?
The best part of this movie?
Yeah.
When he's climbing up the wall.
Okay.
Is my favorite part.
Okay.
When he's just like discovering his power for the first time, and that's such a real like kid-like feeling that they just captured right then and there. I think every single person who saw this has always wanted to do something like that in their life, and to see Tobey Maguire's reaction when he actually realizes he can do that, I don't think it gets much better than that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good scene.
I love that scene so much.
I'll tell you what, upside down kiss though with
Iconic.
Mary Jane.
Iconic, yeah.
Got the nips coming through, poking through the wet
that's
t-shirt.
what you saw.
Oh, for a 7-year-old Nico, that was just
the best.
Something special. Well, maybe 9. Something special.
7-year-old Nico.
Yeah, I don't know. 7-year-old Nico knew what nipples were yet, but
I did.
Oh, that wet t-shirt contest in age. Mary Jane, Kirsten Dunst, baby.
This movie is actually so good that one of my film professors at Central, he was talking about superhero films. And he's just like, I really hate superhero films, and I hate what they've done to the industry. And it's just a shame because that first Spider-Man movie is so damn good.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa.
Well, okay, so it's not as good as Spider-Man 2. Let's just get that out on Front Street. Spider-Man 2 is better. And I know Nick Evangelista does not care for this movie all that much.
Unfortunately.
But I think it's important to look at this movie as a Sam Raimi movie. And I think if you look at it as a Sam Raimi movie, it answers a lot of questions for you.
Oh, exactly.
So if you think it's too over the top, if you think it's too cartoonish, if you think that it's, for lack of a better term, too comic book, just like look at Sam Raimi's filmography and look at the Evil Dead movies, and you'll understand, oh, yeah, he's perfect for this material. And this is the type of movie he was always going to make.
Yep.
And look, he owns the cartoonishness.
Yes.
He doesn't make fun of it. He doesn't mock it. It's not satire. It's not tongue-in-cheek like the new Spider-Man movies.
I know.
It's just a crazy, colorful romp. And sure, had I not seen it at age 9, maybe I wouldn't love it as much as I do now.
That's true.
But I did see it at 9, and I love it.
My dad loves this movie.
So does my dad.
Like, people love this movie because I think they get it, and I think a lot of it starts to make sense. To like, if you're a detractor of the film, and you're maybe not of a certain age, in quotes, whatever that means.
Yeah.
It all starts to gel together as soon as you see J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson.
Right.
And you're like, I know what this movie is. I know exactly what this movie is.
I was so happy when they did that in the new one.
That is, this, in my opinion, maybe the best casting for a comic book character.
So good.
I actually like him more as J. Jonah Jameson in a way than I like Heath Ledger as the Joker. Not to say that I think it's a better performance.
It's a perfect, yeah.
But it's just like, boom. You could not have gotten better than that.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
That's exactly. No, and it's kind of funny that that's the character that seemed to age so well.
And it's one of his, I think it's the role that really put him on the map, too.
Yeah, I mean,
strangely enough.
Yeah, he was in Juno. I mean, who he was initially was the guy in Oz, the TV show, the HBO show. He's terrific in Oz. But yeah, this is the one that sort of made J.K. Simmons a household name. And it's funny, like the Tobey Maguire casting choice, although I really love him in the movie.
People are split on that.
People are lukewarm on Kirsten Dunst, Steven.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't love her as much. I mean, most of the time she's just like screaming in peril and not doing much.
Yeah.
So
Willem Dafoe is a similar way. Like, it's kind of funny we haven't gotten another Green Goblin yet.
Well, we have.
I mean, beyond James Franco in 3 and beyond the animated ones.
Well, there's Dane DeHaan.
Oh, right. Oh, fucking shit. Yes. Oh, my God. How'd I forget?
Well, it's pretty easy to forget. But
I just forgot Dane DeHaan altogether. Yeah. It just all came rushing back.
Yep. No, your reaction of forgetting is entirely appropriate.
How did they blow it with Dane DeHaan? That guy can act, dude.
Because that movie sucks.
Oh, man.
That movie is a mess, and he got lost in that mess.
Dude, I just had a Jason Bourne-style flashback right now, bro. Dane DeHaan was the Green Goblin. Holy shit.
Yep. I was like, what are you talking about? We've never done it before.
Holy fuck. I remember nothing about that movie.
Aren't you glad that I have the best memory of anybody you know?
Yeah, I would have never I don't think any... I think... You know what happened is the Men in Black must have come around with their little flashlights and just erased... What was that movie called? Rise of Electro? Off of the planet.
It's just The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Dude, it's fucking Blue Jamie Foxx.
Blue Jamie Foxx. It's my birthday and I want to light my candles.
Paul Giamatti for 10 minutes?
Not even 10 minutes. Dude.
Less than that? Like 5 minutes?
He's barely in that. Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah, cut that in half.
What a weird movie. Wow.
Yo, fuck that. No, fuck that movie. That movie can go straight to hell.
I mean, it's colorful.
Who gives a shit if it's
colorful? The electricity
colorful?
is cool. I remember that one fight sequence.
Oh my God.
Anyway. So I don't know. Has the Willem Dafoe casting aged well?
I love Willem Dafoe in most things, and there's something about his, like, a buddy of mine said this to me, I think better than anybody could have ever said it, and he's like, let me illustrate to you why this movie is brilliant, because there is a scene when Willem Dafoe, as a man in a green suit, screams, "We'll meet again, Spider-Man."
Yeah.
And you completely buy it.
Oh, yeah.
And that would never happen today.
Right.
But the fact that at that point in the movie, you're like, yeah, I get it. Oh, wow, I'm scared by him. And he's saying something as objectively goofy as that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
he's scary in the movie. He may be one of the more scary comic book villains, which we just don't have anymore.
He would have been a good Joker in this universe.
Yeah, I think that would have worked out. But I just can't think, like, even the better villains, like Thanos or Kurt Russell from Guardians of the Galaxy, or all these new Marvel villains that we think are pretty good. I wouldn't classify any of them as menacing or scary.
No,
not
really. I mean, Thanos, like, maybe. But,
I mean, threatening. I wouldn't say, like, I'm terrified when he's on screen.
No, yeah, I agree with that.
But when I was a kid and I saw Willem Dafoe getting out of that gas chamber...
Oh, yeah, it's scary.
It scared the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. Or when he tries, like, stabbing Spider-Man at the end with his surfboard.
His surfboard? James Franco has the surfboard.
What is this, then?
This is it's got, like, wings and stuff. It's like a platform to him to fly on.
What's the fucking
difference? It's not a surfboard.
Okay.
You have fucking James Franco's Green Goblin thing stuck in your head. What's... You can separate these movies, I think.
This is a good movie.
Yes, it's a great movie.
I ride for this movie.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
I love everything about its tone. When we were talking about Batman 1989, hits a very similar tone for me.
Right.
It's like the Spider-Man equivalent.
Yeah. Takes itself seriously, but not too seriously.
No. Like, is it tongue-in-cheek enough?
Right.
And that's, I think, perfectly exemplified when they're the news scene going around and you're dealing with people who have interacted with Spider-Man and getting their opinions on the guy.
Right.
It's like, he stinks and I don't like him. And then there's the, I think he's a man. He could be a woman. All that stuff. I love it.
It's really good stuff, man.
This movie is charming as hell.
It's so charming. And yes, there's a big aspect of nostalgia here, but I also can make a serious argument about the movie's impact because, for better or for worse, we are stuck in this Marvelified, what's the verb? Marvelification. That's what we've just undergone as a
Yes.
culture. And now every mainstream movie that comes out has the Marvel label on it because of Spider-Man. Not because of X-Men, which came out 2 years earlier, but because of this one. This was the one that really kickstarted things.
No, X-Men just said it can be done.
Right.
This is the one that popularized it.
For sure.
Yes.
For better or worse, we'll let you decide. But for now, every time Spider-Man is on FX or TNT, it's on.
Yep.
It's on in my house, and I've seen it so many times. So there it is. All right. Here's another movie I can say very similar things about.
Yep, me too.
It's called The Bourne Identity.
Yep.
Is this your favorite Bourne movie?
Yeah, it's my favorite Bourne movie.
Okay.
Clearly.
Clearly.
But I have thoughts.
Okay. Give me your thoughts.
This is... to me, this is the worst film on the list.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's the one.
Oh.
I think it's the one where you watch. If you were to watch all these movies on a marathon, this is the one that would leave the least impact, and a lot of that has to do with the filmmaking, which is frustrating because I think, in regards to the other Bourne films, it's maybe the most distinct, but for some reason, it's the one that, as far as like memorable scenes, gels with me the least, aside from the field scene.
Yeah.
The only reason it's my favorite is because, again, and a lot of that, it has to do with the type of story that honestly, I think it is just the story. This particular entry in the Bourne chronology is just the most interesting to me. And Matt Damon discovering who he is the most engaging.
It's the easiest story to sink your teeth into.
Yeah. And I love the first three Bourne movies quite a bit, but there's something about this story that just gels with me better than those other ones. And I do, it's so weird to talk about because I prefer the filmmaking in this. That's not to say I love the filmmaking in this movie, though, for similar reasons.
Well, this is another movie that had a tremendous amount of impact because of the way it was shot. So Doug Liman is the director. Tony Gilroy wrote the screenplay. Those men have sort of traded off directing duties for... what's his face did 2 and 3.
Paul Greengrass.
Paul Greengrass, yeah, did 2 and 3. Lyman had an aesthetic, and it's a choice, and it's certainly unique. I think the sort of handheld, quick cut, can't follow what the hell's going on in your action set pieces has been used to diminishing returns over the next 15 years.
Yes.
Right? Action set pieces have become much more muddled as a direct result of the Bourne Identity, which I think utilizes it effectively because this is a movie about confusion. It's about a guy that doesn't know what the hell is going on. He is on the run, and it's frenetic, and it's stressful, and it's high anxiety. And it's also a movie about surveillance.
Yep.
So, like, it's not going to look like the most beautiful shot compositions because, like, a lot of this movie takes place in control rooms with surveillance cameras all over the place. So, for this movie, I will say the directorial style works. What I will not say is that the next 15 years of spy thrillers should have looked exactly like Bourne Identity.
I know.
And that's what we got.
I know. They thought, well, because, again, it's a response film. It's like people looked at this and they thought, okay, yeah, this type of story can be done, right? So we're just going to reference that the entire time because people loved it. And it's ironic because I think the only other movies to get what it was about and kind of improve upon it were the other Bourne films.
Yeah.
In a way.
Well, Supremacy is an awesely directed movie.
Yes.
I think
I
that,
agree.
for me, that's the best action movie of the three, and that's why I like it the most. You know?
So, yeah. Because I agree. It's like, I mean, I have pros and cons, I think, for every Bourne film, but yeah, no, the most disappointing thing about this one for me is ironically those fight scenes and a lot of that filmmaking and whatnot, because it certainly hasn't aged that well in that way.
Yeah.
It's almost exclusively the story and getting all those beats correct and using Matt Damon to carry us along through this, because I actually think he's quite good in this movie.
Oh, he's awesome in these movies.
Yes.
I was just talking about Matt Damon with my father and my brother the other day, and we were just like, yeah, he's such a movie star, but he's not distracting.
No.
And that's what's great about him, is that he could play the everyman. And he has played the everyman. Good Will Hunting, even talented Mr. Ripley to a certain extent, although it's a different sort of character. And the key with him in this is he's attractive, but he's not too attractive. And he's like a physical presence, but he's not Dwayne Johnson.
No.
So he can compellingly hold the gun, but also be the audience avatar at the same time.
I mean, he needs to be a chameleon. That's the whole point of the character.
Exactly right.
Which is why I think it's like actually brilliant casting. It's like I can, now to the point where now I can't imagine anyone doing Jason Bourne better.
Oh,
it's like this is it.
Well, we saw one person try Jason Bourne, and it failed.
Yep. Yep.
And no, I think if you put, for example, Leo in this movie, or even you put someone like Brad Pitt in this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
They're distracting. They have so much charisma that they take away from the movie.
Yeah, they're almost like too magnetic, and it's a problem.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good example. Because it's weird. I don't... You know, maybe you're right, because I was thinking back to The Martian, and I'm like, no, I do see him as his character in that.
Right. You put Leo in that movie, it's like, you put, let's say George Clooney's in that movie.
Yeah, okay.
Right? He's a movie star, and Matt Damon is also a movie star, but he never takes away from the movie. You're never thinking, oh, that's just Matt Damon, you know, in a astronaut outfit. He's the character.
All right.
I can't name a bad Matt Damon performance, can you?
Interstellar.
Okay, can you name another bad Matt Damon performance?
Not really.
Okay. So, yeah, I think he's perfect for this. I can't think of any other Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
You're right. That field sequence is the best in the movie.
In my opinion, it's my favorite scene in all the Bourne movies.
Yeah.
I adore it. It's incredible.
Right. But that's another one where it's not hand-to-hand combat.
No.
You know?
It's just him outsmarting another character, and the tension between those two characters is what makes it really exciting.
Right. But the camera pulls away and you can actually figure out what the hell's going on.
Geography. That's what, yeah.
I think we've talked about this in the past. Anytime the director's like, yeah, I'm going to put you right in the fight with these two people, and you're going to like smell Jason Statham's sweat dripping from his forehead, and you're going to be able to feel the punch that Vin Diesel lands on you. I find that very distracting.
Yeah, I know.
Pull the camera away. Let me see what the hell's going on.
I just, because when you here's the thing, putting you directly in the fight as if you're fighting the person is not a pleasant experience.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's proven time and time again that it's far more exciting and thrilling to actually get a view of the chaos from a distance in this sense.
Well, it's also not a cinematic experience, right?
No, yeah. I agree with that. Because again, part of some people love them, but honestly, I am not that fond of the fight sequences in the other Bourne movies, like hand-to-hand fight sequences.
Yeah.
Some people think it makes a lot of sense to them. To me, it's a little nauseating.
Yeah.
And honestly, like you have to, if you're going to do hand-to-hand fight sequences, I've never seen it done better than, say, Jackie Chan movies or the Raid films, and those are the movies that tend to step back a bit to actually observe this craziness. You know,
or the Michael Mann movies. How about that? How about Heat?
Yeah, I agree.
How about Collateral? Like that is
The Dark Knight.
Of course, which is basically a Michael Mann movie. Like, and I think we talked about this when we talked about Batman too. Like Dark Knight Rises, turns that on its head, and that's one of the reasons that movie doesn't work so well. You have to be able to choreograph it, and you have to be able to see what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I know.
That being said, I don't want to shit on Bourne Identity because it's really one of my favorite movies ever. Like, I don't want to like...
Oh, yeah.
Like, this movie... It's Spider-Man and Bourne Identity. It's so funny. Those are the movies I watched the most growing up. And I have a very specific relationship to this character just because my family grew up watching my mom loves Jason Bourne. My father loves Jason Bourne.
My dad does too, yeah.
You know, when the new one came out, we were so disappointed. We all watched it together. We're like, yeah, Bourne back, baby. and it was so disappointing. But it just came to define action movies for me growing up.
Yeah, in a way. Well, it defines action movies like throughout the 2000s. And I think you said this earlier when you said like a lot of movies started ripping from this, but those kind of became the prominent mainstream action films anyway. At least in my experience, those sort of spy thrillers. We just saw so many of them.
Right. Well, and also specifically post 9/11 spy thrillers.
And in a way, this is almost a post 9/11 film.
This is absolutely a film about 9/11.
Yeah, we can talk about like surveillance and whatnot.
Yeah, and paranoia, and is the government really on our side, or are they looking to fuck us? And it's an awesome movie. It's a really good movie, and I think culturally has a massive impact. Cinematically has an impact, not always for the best.
Yep.
I don't agree with you. I don't think it's the worst movie on this list, but no. That's okay. We can agree to disagree on that.
Yeah.
I really like it a lot, and it was one of those I was actually thinking about putting in just because I feel like it says something about 2002, and It's
There is another film on this list that I think says more,
okay.
but we're going to be in contention about that because of the director.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Well, we'll talk about it. Bourne Identity, I really love, and we did a Bourne cast
Yeah, we did.
last year.
Yeah.
On Why Is This a Thing? So if you want to hear more, actually no, not even last year, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
If you want to hear more of our thoughts about the Bourne legacy and the rest of that series,
Half of that podcast is just you guys getting mad at me for not watching Legacy. So, I mean, that's entertaining too. It's always fun to get mad at Adam Hall.
yeah, always check that out on the website. Why Is This a Thing? The Bourne Legacy Edition. I'm always up for a Bourne cast, Adam Hall. You know me.
Yeah, when are they going to do the next Bourne movie?
Well, you know what they're doing next? Treadstone, the TV show.
Oh, I saw that.
Treadstone, baby.
Are you in on that?
All in.
Of course you are. You're so fucking predictable.
I gotta be honest with you though. I don't know what the fuck Treadstone even is.
What do you mean? Oh,
I still don't get it.
Well, this is another issue just with these movies in general. It's just, I think it's just an agency from what I understand, it's an agency that, I feel like it's government surveillance, but it's also, like they breed super soldiers.
Right.
They breed spies. That's the point. They're like spy breeders.
Sure.
That's my understanding of it.
But they send people out there like Manchurian Candidate style. And they're like, you're going to, one day we may need to pull you out and you're going to start killing people for us.
Okay. I guess. It's confusing.
Treadstone.
Yeah. The Bourne story, like overarching story, is confusing as all hell.
Yeah, I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because film executives like money. But
Yes.
beyond that, I don't know why they felt the need to make this into a cinematic universe. Like, I feel like these movies are very specifically one-man story.
Well, it's because it's America's James Bond, dude.
Right, yeah.
His initials are even JB, for Christ's sake.
Good point. I just don't know if I was, itching. No, it would be like if James Bond said we're going to make an MI5, MI5, MI6?
MI6, yeah.
It's like we're going to make an MI6 movie, and M is going to be in it, and Q is going to be in it, and it's not going to have James Bond. That could be ridiculous.
Yeah, I get that.
But Jason Bourne, for some reason, they want to tell you more about the greater Bourne universe. Mm-hmm. What's happening at Treadstone HQ.
And it's probably the most uninteresting aspect of the film.
That's what I mean.
So.
It's a very specific story. It's all about Damon. Damon carries that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bourne Identity.
Very good movie.
Yeah, very good movie. Let's move on to Gangs of New York.
Okay.
In 1962, Amsterdam Vallon... What a great name.
1962. That can't be right.
1862. Amsterdam Vallon. What a great character name. Returns to the 5 Points area of New York City seeking revenge against Bill the Butcher.
Iconic Bill the Butcher.
His father's killer.
Yeah.
Directed by Marty Scorsese. Nominated, by the way, for 10 Oscars.
Really? I didn't know that.
Did not win a single one.
Holy crap.
Best Picture, Best Actor for Daniel Day, Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Art Direction, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing, and Best Sound.
Wow.
Did not win a single one.
It didn't win editing?
Did not win production design.
What?
How great is the set design in this? They had built an entire downtown New York.
See, that's wrong.
It's crazy.
That is wrong. What did win? Lord of the Rings?
Probably.
Okay.
Just a bunch of green screen. Peter Jackson in the woods. Come on, dude. The set direction in this is just great. Leo's in it. Cameron Diaz is in it. Daniel Day-Lewis is Bill the Butcher. Y'all, let's just talk Daniel Day for the next hour, can we?
He's so good in this movie. But that's almost its own podcast. He is absolutely balls to the wall in this movie.
Got to tenderize the meat. Got to tenderize it. Want the loins?
Or the heart?
Rip his heart out!
Oh, yeah, that's a line. This boy has no heart.
No heart.
I don't give a thumping fuck about your moral conundrum, you meat-headed shit sack.
Fear. I rule by fear.
Everything this man says in this movie is gold.
Bill the fucking Butcher, dude. This is just one of the great characters of the 21st century. I just love this guy. And he elevates the movie another, 2 stars for me.
Yeah.
If Daniel Day-Lewis is not Bill the Butcher, I do not love this movie nearly as much.
In a way, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And that's okay, though, because a significant portion of the movie is Bill the Butcher.
Yeah.
So I don't take contention with that.
What a great villain.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of great villains in Scorsese movies, mostly because they're anti-heroes at the center of them, you know?
I suppose. I mean,
Goodfellas doesn't have a villain.
Not really.
Unless Billy Bats counts.
does Departed kind of has a villain?
Yeah, he's Damon, I guess. Yeah, Damon's the villain in that.
So yeah, that's a good villain.
Yeah. There's just not many of them, though. And
no iconic villains, anyway.
Yeah. Daniel Day here just becomes this guy. And look, he's overacting, sure. He's hamming it up, of course. But who the fuck isn't in this movie?
Yeah, in a
the
way.
movie is crazy. This is my Dwayne Johnson movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, this movie is like acid.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
When people are like, I just love going to Dwayne Johnson movies, when he's, Skyscraper or the one with the monkey.
The one with the Rampage.
Rampage.
The great Rampage. Come on, Nico.
When people are like, I just want an escape, man. I just want to have fun at the cinema. I'm like, give me fucking Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
Leo, Diaz, Daniel Day, off the fucking wall.
Then they're all good.
All good. I wouldn't say, Leo's great. Nor would I say Diaz is great.
No, but no one sticks out as bad, which is important.
No. This is Scorsese just being like, yeah, we're going to have a fucking good time. It's going to be a soap opera. It's a gangster movie, but it is going to be soap operatic as all fuck.
Yeah.
We're going full melodrama, just way over the top acting, way over the top direction. The camera's going to move. Thelma Shoemaker is going to edit the shit out of this thing. Going to have a great score. And Steve fucking Zalian, my boy, who's returning for The Irishman, crushes it with this script. Crushes it.
It's actually got a few different screenwriters attached to it. I think Kenneth Lonergan also.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, like a lot of great writers on this thing.
Jay Cox.
Yeah. Oh, Jay Cox, who, what did he do?
Did Silence.
Yeah, that's right. Very good. Yeah, no, this movie is, you see, it's funny you say that about like doing a melodrama, but this is where Scorsese kind of belongs, because he's done melodrama before with Age of Innocence, and to me, that just doesn't work at all.
I've never seen Age of Innocence.
It is, I do not like that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I can confidently say I do not.
And that's got Daniel Day too, right?
Yep. It is very difficult to enjoy that thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
But that movie's not fun though, right?
It's not much.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking, and a lot of people like it. I just don't get it. I don't know. If you want a movie to me that feels like homework, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean melodrama in this sense of like, we're gonna just have a damn good time. Like we're gonna play to the back of the room. It's like we're doing a Broadway show, and you got to make sure everybody knows what the hell's going on. There's no room for subtlety in Gangs of New York.
No.
I dig that as a premise, man. Is this movie good? Kinda. Is this movie great? Fuck yeah. You know what I'm saying? This movie's great.
Yeah, of course it is.
I can't say it's a masterpiece, because it's certainly not a masterpiece, but it's got a great cast. Liam Neeson's in it. Brendan Gleeson's in it.
Oh, I don't know. In a way, it could be a masterpiece.
You think I would not classify this as a masterpiece?
This movie hits some weird sweet spot for me, where it's like, I don't know why I love every single thing about this movie. I shouldn't love every single thing about this movie, but I do.
I just marvel at just the bigness of it all.
I
just marvel at the scope.
Well, not just the scope with the setting and whatnot, but also with these performances.
Yes.
And his direction. I mean, you want Scorsese, where it's like, okay, I'm just, because Scorsese has said in the past, "Oh, I love camera movement," and I would watch this and be like, "Yeah, you don't say, dude.
You don't say."
Yeah. I love editing, and it's like, yeah, you don't say.
Pans, zooms everywhere. I mean, that opening fight sequence is off the wall.
Like, you want chaos captured accurately and well, and to actually make you feel said chaos. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that opening scene. It's awesome.
And I'll tell you what, man, I love a good war sequence, and I love a good gunfight, but there's something about just a bunch of guys with axes and knives running straight at each other in the middle of a field that's very off-putting and,
Yeah.
and very disturbing.
I know.
And it's certainly a lot of fun, but it's also very troubling what happens at the beginning of that movie.
Oh, there is some like if you look closely, there are some horrible things that are going on. I mean, like the fish hooking,
Yeah.
where they're just pulling off their lips and their faces. It's just like, oh god. And there's a jankiness to the filmmaking that actually works. And it's weird to say, but it's like the imperfections in a lot of those scenes actually makes it more nauseating.
Yeah.
It's like, and I can't imagine the movie without that. So yeah.
And I feel the same way about that final sequence too, which is just this sprawling chase, and they're through this. What is it? The
5 points.
The 5 points. Yeah, so the 5 points area of New York City. I'm just impressed by how they built that set and how he shoots it. And again, we've talked about it now 3 times on the show, but the sense of geography the movie has does a great job just tracking these characters, and it's chaotic and it's loud and it's boisterous, but you never lose sight of what's happening. And that's what you get with a master filmmaker and master performers. Everyone is at the top of their game in this movie, but also having a really good time.
Yes, ultimately. And you can feel that. Even like Brendan Gleeson, honestly. And he's not in it
A lot of fun.
But he's just, everyone is just enjoying their time. I mean, they get to work with Martin Scorsese, so it's like, can you blame them?
Yep.
And it's the best Scorsese film of the 21st century, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Honestly, the only
Yes,
contender
yes,
for me is Hugo.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you would think of Hugo. I absolutely adore the film. I could see you walking out of it and being like, it's too cute for me. But I love that moment.
Wolf of
Love
Wall
that
Street
movie.
don't get there, right?
Not quite.
No. Departed doesn't get there.
Again, not quite. It's a contender, but I don't think it's quite as good as this.
Aviator?
Aviator, I love. Again, not quite there. You don't revisit Aviator. You just don't.
Look, man, we'll find out with The Irishman, won't we?
I guess.
That'll...
It's that fucking hype, though. I'm serious. I'm getting really sick of this. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's such an just can we just not rate films? Can we just like leave it until after the movie comes out? For God's sakes, I hate it. Like it stifles all of my excitement. It's like, okay, it's gone because you're claiming the movie to be the greatest thing ever. I have no expectations now in a bad way.
You know they're trying to do the opposite. Like, by reviewing the film in a positive way, they're hoping to get you more excited, not less excited.
And I get less excited.
Yeah, so maybe it's a you problem, not the industry problem. You're the only one that sees, like, Irishman 100% Rotten Tomatoes. Fuck you guys. You're the only one that says it.
Because, no, I'm always right. I'm always right. Because you want to know something? Nothing is ever 100%.
Okay, but you understand, though, that positive buzz is supposed to make your anticipation level go up.
I understand
You
that.
understand how buzz works, right?
Yeah, but I'm not an idiot. The difference is
No, you actively get pissed off when you see positive reviews for movies.
I get pissed off when I see positive reviews like that.
What do you mean?
I didn't have an issue with the positive reviews for Joker necessarily, but I think a lot of that is also mixed in with the interesting things people were saying
All
about
right,
the film.
That is not what happened with you with Joker.
I was jazzed for Joker.
No, you saw negative reviews for Joker, and
That's
you were
also
like, "Fuck these sensitive critics! I'm going to go in and love it now." That's what you did. Let's be very clear about something.
I love that negative.
So
controversy.
you just like being a contrarian. That's all it is.
Oh my God.
Be honest.
No.
You like being a contrarian. So Irishman, what if Irishman is actually that good?
Maybe it will be.
Has Martin Scorsese made movies that are worthy of 100% ratings on Rotten Tomatoes before?
Yes.
Of course. So why isn't he capable of doing it again? Why?
Because he hasn't done it in a long time.
So what?
So what?
So what?
You're the one who criticizes him for having a dry spell.
I'm just saying, why do you automatically assume these critics are kissing his ass for no reason?
Ugh.
And why are you now actively, like, ruining your own anticipation for the movie?
I don't know if I am.
I think you are.
No.
It feels like you're going in with preconceived notions. And
I'm not going in to hate the film. This is more of a critical thing than anything. More directed towards the critics than anything else, in my opinion.
You are not excited for The Irishman, right?
No. I mean, I haven't been excited for The Irishman even before the reviews.
Why are you not excited for The Irishman exactly?
I don't really know. It just didn't look that good to me. It didn't look interesting to me at all.
It didn't look interesting?
I have not been excited for The Irishman since its announcement.
All right. Do you believe, though, that okay.
You also have to understand when I hear reviews for a movie that's 100% with our reactionary environment that we get into, it bothers me. It's annoying because movies are never that good. They're never like actually. There's never a point where I'm like, okay, 100% yes, it deserves that rating, unless it's Mad Max Fury Road, and that's it.
All right, fine.
Yeah. Not excited for The Irishman. I haven't been excited for it at all.
See, you gotta get there, man. Don't ruin this for yourself.
No.
You like movies. Allow yourself to like movies.
No, I don't.
Don't be so cynical about this.
I can't.
I know it's easy to be cynical when you do a movie podcast and you read lots of blog posts about movies. I understand that.
I can't stand hype. It's not so much the movie. It's just, oh my God, these people need to calm the fuck down.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
100%. Shut the fuck up. Calm down, for Christ's sake.
It's working for me, y'all.
To me, it's a problem.
It's working.
Ugh.
It's working on me. Maybe I'm just one of the sheeple.
I think you need to go at it with a certain edge and be like, because then, in a way, then you sort of, I don't know. In my opinion, you're less aware of what might be wrong with the movie.
You're just saying go in with low expectations, right? That's all you're saying.
I'm not telling you go in with low expectations.
Well, yeah, I know.
I'm just saying it's not. The movie on the whole is very different. Like my reaction towards The Irishman versus my reaction towards that 100% on Rotten Tomatoes is very different. It's a completely different conversation.
Okay, so you are just upset at the current cultural cycle we have.
Yeah. More
where
than anything.
Critics see the movie 2 months before audiences get to see the movie and have the entire discussion on a think piece without anyone having any context.
Yes. And it's not even just critics, it's also just audiences. The fact that the couple thousand user reviews gave Batman v Superman a 9.6 on IMDb, that is fucking retarded.
Don't use that word.
I don't care. The fact that is allowed to happen, the fact that there are people that stupid to allow that movie to have such a grade is offensive.
But they're only doing that as a fuck you to the critics, right? Okay, audience reviews don't mean anything. Let's be very clear about that too. Anyone that's like, hey, the Rotten Tomatoes score, say that 50% of critics like Joker, but 98% of audiences like Joker. I don't buy it. That's not evidence of anything, because people just go on these sites and they weaponize the algorithm where they're like, yo, fuck Captain Marvel because there's a broad in a cape rather than a dude in a cape. So thumbs down. They did the same thing with Ghostbusters. And I'm not like defending Ghostbusters or Captain Marvel. Those are both very underwhelming movies, but like people are weaponizing it to make a political point. That should not be evidence of anything.
Yeah. But it's all we have.
No, we don't.
It's what
you know what we have? We have conversations like this.
Yes.
Here, we can talk about movies in a nuanced way without the arbitrary thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, way to just prove my point.
Because I think The Irishman could actually be pretty good. But you're skeptical of The Irishman, and you're killing my vibe right now. That's all I'm saying.
I'm skeptical of the critical reaction that I saw on that website.
Didn't you like Silence? I don't understand this.
Yeah, of course I love Silence. I love Silence.
I just don't understand why you see a positive review and now you automatically think the worst about the movie by a director that you love.
It doesn't help that it's, I guess, the process of which that movie's getting released. And we sort of talked about this off air. Just, there is something about it that it just, I don't know, inherently I'm just not that interested. In a way, I mean, I would be perfectly fine never seeing the movie.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
All
but
right.
I have to because of this podcast.
Oh, fuck off. You have to.
I don't have to. I don't have to.
Let's talk about Catch Me If You Can.
Okay.
Let's talk Spielberg. Because you know what we don't talk about enough on this podcast? Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know who he is.
We have 2 Steven Spielberg movies on the list now. Catch Me If You Can was nominated for 2 Oscars, as a matter of fact, in 2002. Best Supporting Actor for Christopher Walken, and Best Music. John Williams did that score.
Fair.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Christopher Walken, Martin Sheen, Amy Adams, a young Amy Adams with braces.
Yeah.
All in this movie. A seasoned FBI agent pursues Frank Abagnale Jr., who before his 19th birthday successfully forged millions of dollars worth of checks while posing as a Pan Am pilot, a doctor, and a legal prosecutor. One of my favorite cable movies of all time. I watch it so much. I just think it's a hoot. And I don't care. This is my favorite Leo performance. Beyond Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is now my favorite Leo performance. But before that, it was this. He's great.
Yep.
He's amazing.
I don't know. I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's probably my favorite Leo performance. I think right beneath that is Gilbert Grape and then this.
Okay.
For me personally. But yes, he's remarkable in this, and I actually see him as Frank Abagnale Jr.
Yeah.
Which is remarkable because I think when I cite actors that I cannot see as their characters, Leo is always my go-to guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny, too, because this movie has him playing a lot of different parts. So he wouldn't necessarily be a natural choice because he's a movie star, and it's a movie star movie, but he's sort of supposed to blend into the background. He's a guy that steals identities, is on the run from the FBI, and is supposed to be, like we said about Matt Damon earlier, a guy that just blends in. But he doesn't in this. He's magnetic. He's radiant. He's Leo. He's who we know Leo to be.
Yep.
And of the two Leo performances on this list, Gangs of New York and Catch Me If You Can, I would prefer this 7 days a week.
Oh God, there's something about his performance. It's hard to explain, but when he's trying to be a different person, but really he's just a kid.
Yeah.
And a good example of that is when he tricks Tom Hanks's character. He's acting very professional, like an FBI agent, and then Tom Hanks figures out that, this is actually the guy that I need. Except he sticks his head out the window and sees him running away, and he just at that point he's kind of obviously broken the character, and he just seems like just an idiot amateur dude to me.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but that dichotomy makes for a very interesting character for me.
Huh.
And there's something very entertaining about him trying to do it throughout the film because that's what it is.
Well, he's not malicious.
No.
I mean, he's scamming people and he's stealing money and stealing identities. And look, that's a crime, and it's a crime for a good reason. But there is this childlike glee to it. And he's just traveling the world, having a good time, falling in love.
Yep, pretty much.
And everyone sort of wishes they could be like him. There's a real escapist quality to the character where it's I would love to just go all over the place and not be anyone in particular, to be able to shed my identity, change my name, start over with someone new. That's a real cool escapist idea. But the movie is still very grounded.
Yeah, and it has a lot of heart, and I think his motivations are awesome.
Yeah.
With essentially the reason he's very subtly done, in my opinion. I mean, they make a lot of good points of it, but it's something like when I first saw the movie, I didn't necessarily pick up on, is that pretty much the reason why he's doing all this is just to get his parents back together.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's a great point.
I love that
well,
about the movie.
It's very Spielberg, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't work, and especially in Spielberg's life, it didn't happen right away.
Right.
You know, because Spielberg famously, a lot of his movies are based off of his parents divorcing.
I think both movies on this list have elements of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Walken's great as his dad, which is not something you say that often about Christopher Walken anymore.
Oh, he is great. He's so pathetic in this movie, though.
Yeah.
You know, but I love that tragedy where he believes so wholeheartedly in his father, and his father is just a complete loser.
Right.
Yeah.
And just a lot of people in this movie are really good. Martin Sheen as Amy Adams' father has a ton of heart, and I don't necessarily love Amy Adams in this. Let me ask you a question. Where do you stand on Amy Adams these days?
What are you talking about?
You don't like her, right?
I have told you that time and time again. Fuck Amy Adams. I don't like her. I don't even like her in American Hustle. And that's a problem.
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
Man, Amy Adams is a weird one.
Yeah. No,
well, the weird thing about Amy Adams is that the Academy adores her.
I don't get it. Okay, another one. I cannot break Amy Adams. It's always Amy Adams trying to do a part and poorly.
Trivia question for you. How many Oscars has Amy Adams been nominated for?
Oh, God. 3?
6.
What? For what?
Vice, American Hustle, The Master, The Fighter, Doubt, Junebug.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
6 Oscar nominations.
Like, she's...
I listen, I don't hate Amy Adams as much as you do, but that is way too much, Doug.
It's like 50-50. I come out of a movie and I say she was not good in that.
Yeah, I would say that's a good ratio. Yeah,
I'm serious.
she's good in The Fighter.
Yes, she's good.
She's good in Arrival.
She's good in Arrival. Yeah, she's good in Big Eyes.
Okay.
I
I like her in American Hustle. You don't have to.
do not like her in American Hustle.
She's not good as Lois Lane.
Nope.
She good in Her?
Is she good in Her?
I don't recall her in Her.
Smaller role. So her character is very similar to Joaquin Phoenix's.
She's good in The Master. I'll defend that performance.
Okay. I still need to see The Master.
You've never seen The Master?
No. Although I have seen the Don't Blink scene, and I love it.
Oh, man, Master podcast. One of these days, dude.
Okay.
Gotta do it.
All
One
right.
of the most fascinating movies ever made.
Okay.
I don't know if I like it, but god damn is it interesting.
Okay.
Oh, great podcast material.
All right.
Yeah. Back to Catch Me If You Can.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you. It's got a ton of heart. And the fact that Tom Hanks and Leo at the end of this sort of forged this connection, and I think at the end of the movie they say that the two of them remain friends.
Yep.
You can feel that. It's just such an authentic Spielberg movie. And it's weird to say that, but it feels like only Spielberg could have made this, right?
Well, he earns the Spielberg isms in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of people really have issues with that. But again, like if you can really like dive into it like he does in this movie, and just enjoy your time doing it, like this does feel like he's having a blast making this movie. Right. I really do feel that. And this is like this is another kind of frenetic, fast moving movie that never really stops, and that's part of the reason that it lends itself to being such a great cable film. Yeah. But it's like to me, it goes even further than that. Like, this is a sick day film for me.
Oh yeah, sure.
This is a movie that I watch if I'm like, I have a flu or something, or, and I have to stay at home. It's like I throw on like RoboCop, The Fugitive, or this. Yeah.
There's something so comforting. RoboCop I don't find as comforting as the other two. But I'm definitely with you on the other two.
Oddly. Yeah. I don't understand why Fugitive is, but it definitely is. Yeah.
Oh, Fugitive's the best. It's all Tommy Lee Jones.
God, I love Fugitive. But that movie's just dope. The movie's fucking awesome.
Give me one of those donuts with the sprinkles on top.
Love it.
I knew it was an elevated train.
Junior, what are you doing? I'm thinking. Pick me up one of those donuts. It's his entire delivery. It's just, it's perfect.
I don't bargain.
You hear that? Yeah. Okay. I don't care. The line. Great.
Let's transition to another Spielberg movie.
Okay.
Do you think that Minority Report is better or worse than Catch Me If You Can?
It's a better film.
Oh.
As far as like execution in general, I think there are more misses in Minority Report.
Yeah.
But like what Minority Report gets right, it's like it's hard. It's hard for me to say it's better or worse. I don't know. Because I think the highs in Minority Report are just like remarkable. Yeah. And it's the second best adaptation of Philip K. Dick's work. And his work is generally pretty hard to do, but this is awesome.
Minority Report stars Tom Cruise, Max von Sydow, Samantha Morton, and Colin Farrell, nominated for Best Sound Editing at the Oscars. Mm-hmm. In a future where a special police unit is able to arrest murderers before they commit their crimes, an officer from that unit is himself accused of a future murder. Kind of interesting you say it's the second best Philip K. Dick adaptation, because its vision of the future actually feels very different than its vision in Blade Runner.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot different, yeah.
Blade Runner is an apocalyptic wasteland.
Kind of.
And although this future is not necessarily one you'd want to live in, the future of Minority Report is somewhat bright. There's an optimism and a sincerity to it. And I think that comes from Spielberg's direction more than anything else.
Yeah, I was going to say. I don't necessarily, when I actually look at it and see what's going on, I don't find it to be all that bright. Yeah. Like you said, it's like I really would not want to live in this future at all. Yeah. But like you said, I think Spielberg's direction is a little bit different. This is sort of an era of Spielberg where he was doing everything bright with a lot of heavy whites in all of his films, especially in like War of the Worlds.
A lot of undersaturation.
Yeah, this looks so much like War of the Worlds in that way.
Yeah. He does a similar thing in Saving Private Ryan, actually.
It's a little better in that, though, in my opinion. He hadn't like completely grown into it the way he does with those other two.
Yeah. Do you think this movie has aged well for like mainstream audiences?
Well, a lot of mainstream audiences, in my opinion, don't love heady science fiction.
Yeah.
And this is a kind of a heady science fiction in a way.
Because I feel like at the time the movie was... Again, I wasn't around. I was around in 2002. I wasn't as aware, but I feel like there was a time in my life where Minority Report was more popular than it is now, and I feel like it hasn't aged in the same way some of those sci-fi classics have.
It's one of I think it's definitely pushed under the rug. It's maybe one of Spielberg's more underrated films.
Yeah,
because I think Catch Me and You Can't is pretty beloved.
Yes,
this I don't think gets nearly enough credit because I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think it is too. You didn't nominate it. I actually had to do it at the last second. And I was a little bit torn. I really like the movie, and I think it has a lot of interesting stuff to say on a philosophical level.
Yes.
I'm not totally into that stuff all the time. I find a lot of the ruminations of people like Philip K. Dick to be hoity-toity bullshit, and that was certainly the case in Blade Runner. You know me. But like, I love the idea of arresting people for thought crimes.
Yeah.
I just think that's so fascinating. Again, in a post 9/11 world, the idea of stopping people before they actually commit the crime and punishing them just for thinking something bad or for, and just because you anticipate they're going to do something bad is a really interesting sci-fi idea.
Well, it in a way it also kind of reflects on free speech or free thought in that element, and how we've sort of grown into that. How we in a way can be arrested if we have certain thoughts,
right?
Or we're not allowed to have free speech in the way we used to anymore,
right?
And it's weird how this movie capitalized on that. This movie actually capitalized and predicted a lot of scientific innovations, especially with like touchscreen format and iPads and whatnot.
I think Apple to this day still uses one of the sound effects from this movie.
Really?
On iPhones, yeah. I think it's like the charging sound effect.
Oh, really?
I forget exactly what scene it was. I stumbled upon this on my research, but yeah.
That's interesting. But I again, and like you said, this movie also asks a lot about the question, like, if just because we have that power, should we use it?
Yep.
Is like, what happens if we do prevent a murder like this? Is that really necessary? Is it going to create more problems? That sort of thing. And it's what the greatest science fiction films do is that they cover sort of the folly of technological advancement and what that does to the human condition. Yeah. Which is why I love Blade Runner so much. And
right.
Again, why I love this so much.
Yeah. And it also has that stuff about, is the future predetermined, or do you have the free will to do whatever you want with it? And that is kind of run-of-the-mill sci-fi stuff done in an interesting way. I think like the commentary is pretty on point here. And I don't think the movie's like ever corny or hit you over the head with its messages all that much.
No.
I'm just really interested in this idea of punishing people for things that they think. Or punishing people for things that they haven't done yet, because it's such a prescient issue. And I think we would be well served to go back and revisit Minority Report.
Well, it's because every one of those things that we just talked about, it's all situated in a really fine chase film at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think it's really great in that way, especially the scene where he's in the hotel in the bath.
Oh, yeah, the ice bath, yeah. Oh, with the spiders.
Oh, it's great.
Great stuff.
It's such a better version of what Spielberg did in War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
It's like the exact same scene. It's like the exact same scene, isn't it? You remember when that the tube comes down into the basement with Tim Robbins?
Oh, sure.
It is identical.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
But no, this is definitely a better version, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it is an underrated movie for sure, and it's a great directorial effort. Mm-hmm. I guess it's a better directed movie than Catch Me If You Can, because it's a harder movie to pull off on a filmmaking point of view.
I agree.
But there's also this interesting stuff about the broken household.
Yeah, I know.
Tom Cruise divorced. We don't really know what happened with his son, and it's this interesting commentary about home life and about marriages. And there's just a tremendous amount of heart when you have Steven Spielberg behind the camera. That is an inevitable part of Steven Spielberg movies, even if they're sometimes over saccharine. It's always coming from a good place.
Yes.
And that's what elevates this movie for me above other heady sci-fi films of the time.
Okay.
I really like Minority Report a lot.
Yeah. It finds that balance that I think you look for anyway.
Yeah.
I love the heady conversations, and I love how they explore that with the filmmaking. That's why I like Blade Runner, Her, and Under the Skin so much.
Yeah.
And why like even to this day, if I'm talking about other heady sci-fi films, that's why I rank like Blade Runner 2049, Her, and Under the Skin as like the 3 best sci-fi films of the 21st century.
Oh wow, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I love Her.
Yeah.
I really like Under the Skin.
That's not for you though.
Yeah, it's not like the tightest movie.
No, that's not. No, and it's not even that. It's just not your kind of film, and you can admit that.
It's just kind of a dirty movie. I don't know. I mean, I love seeing ScarJo's boobs, but like,
I don't. Not in that thing. Not in that movie.
I'll take it where I can get it. Sorry, man.
You sad person.
I have a hot take. How good is Colin Farrell in this movie?
Awesome.
Fucking love Colin Farrell.
I actually like Tom Cruise in this movie.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
He ain't bad.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel good.
There you go.
I don't love him in it. I think he's totally fine. Yeah.
That's all he has to be.
He doesn't distract.
No.
One final question. So this theory that the ending is a dream is like a big thing. Where do you stand on that?
The ending being, I get sick of that. I
do too.
Was there any? I hate that twist. It was all a dream. It's like, what do you mean it was all a dream? They did the same thing for 2049. You said that to me when we did the podcast. I'm like, where was the indication of that? Like the real indication. Like, when does the movie ever like wink at you? Every movie does that.
Well, because Tom Cruise was actually put in a dream.
Okay.
They put the helmet on his head and they like.
So what though?
And they say that was his best,
I need a little bit more.
That was his best life. They gave like the dream is supposed to give you total euphoria. That's what they do with all the criminals.
Mm-hmm. I need more than that though.
So theoretically, that ending is a very happy ending for a story that at times was a bit cynical.
The whole movie?
Yeah.
You think the whole movie is a dream? Is that what they say?
No. What they say is when Max von Sydow, when his wife gives him up to Max von Sydow.
Oh, okay.
And they put the thing on his head, and remember that? And he drifts away. Mm-hmm. They're saying where they end up foiling Max von Sydow's plan, and they shut down the corporation. All that stuff is now Tom Cruise's dream, his perfect ending for the story.
I gotcha.
And so the argument is the movie wouldn't end in such a happy way. Now, what I would suggest to you is that it's Steven fucking Spielberg making the movie, and the guy can sometimes be a bit of a cornball, and he loves a happy ending.
Yes.
So, of course the movie was going to have a happy ending, but there are signs there to suggest that the logic is,
I don't know. It's never quite enough. I don't like broad theories like that because it's like it just feels like conspiracy theory nonsense. It's like, come on, guys.
It's one that I kind of buy. I'm not totally against this theory in Minority Report.
It sounds like it almost like the Brazil ending, except
the
happy version of
right.
It's essentially the Brazil ending, except we don't go out of
but you don't
the guy's perspective.
You don't see that it was a dream all along. Yeah.
Exactly.
Precisely right.
Okay.
You don't buy it though in Minority Report's case.
It's hard to. It really is.
I mean, it's a Spielberg movie, so
yeah, exactly. That's the real indicator. It's like, guys, just look at this guy's pedigree.
Look at AI.
Yeah. Ugh. That's a Kubrick film, though, Nico.
Spielberg maintains that was Kubrick's ending. He's like, yeah, this is what Stanley wanted.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's so fucking weird that of all the people to pick up the reins,
like you could not get a more polar opposite human being.
I know.
If you tried.
It's
That's
just
the thing.
So strange.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to do this?
We'll try.
I would like to cross Panic Room off the list. Is that okay?
No.
It's what?
No, cross the Bourne Identity off.
All right.
I think it's the worst film on this list.
Well, all right, okay.
I don't know, though.
I just think Bourne Identity is about the era, has a long-standing cultural impact. People like the movie. It affected the way movies were made, and is good enough to earn a spot. I'm not comfortable crossing it off yet. I don't have like one... I just think, look, Panic Room, can we agree, is the most insignificant movie on the list?
Yeah, probably.
So is it fair that we should not be inducting an insignificant movie into the Movie Hall of Fame?
I guess in a way though, like it's as far as like insignificance, it's kind of tied with, I guess, Gangs of New York.
How about Spider-Man? What do you think about Spider-Man?
What, crossing that off first?
What do you think about it? I don't know. Tell me where you're at.
I don't know if I want to induct Spider-Man, but then I kind of do want to induct Spider-Man. I don't know.
It's not the best Spider-Man movie.
No, it would be annoying. Well, would we induct any other Spider-Man movie?
Spider-Man 2 will be in the mix. I don't know. That came out 2004.
Yeah, I don't know what came out that year, so
it will be there. I don't want to put another superhero movie in, personally. Now, that maybe is a stupid bias. Maybe we should just be picking the best movie, but I don't know.
We don't need to put in Spider-Man just yet.
But we could say that about anything. We can say we don't want to put another Spielberg movie in, and there are 2 Spielberg movies. We could say we don't want to put another Marty movie in.
It's a complicated list.
It's a very complicated list.
Like, I don't know if I don't want to put in any of these Spielberg movies. So in a sense, I'm fine crossing off those other 2, even though I love both of them. I might like Catch Me If You Can more than Panic Room.
All right, here's what we're gonna do.
Shit. What are we doing?
Because this is I can just see where this is going now.
I don't know. No, it's not going anywhere.
Heads or tails, Adam Hall?
Heads. Is it coming down to this? Heads, yes.
It's tails.
Okay.
Okay. So I will go first then.
Okay.
We're just going to cross off movies one by one.
It's that kind of year.
This is what we did, and we've had diminishing returns in the past.
Yeah, I know. It better not end the way 1987 fucking ends.
But this is how we're going to do it.
What a stupid idea.
Panic Room is gone.
We're like psychotic CEOs.
This is so bad. This is not a good way of doing this. This is not how democracy should work, but nonetheless, that's how we're going to do it.
Alrighty. And
all right.
Bourne Identity is gone.
Bourne Identity is gone.
Okay.
All right. I do not like where this is going. Hand it back. Hand it back. Hand it back.
This is so stupid.
Do you have a better way of doing it? I don't. I'm lost. I have no idea. I came into this show with no idea what I wanted. I still don't know. I have no better way of doing it. What?
Go ahead. We'll just not induct anything.
No, that's not going to happen. Spider-Man's gone. I'm crossing it off.
Come on.
There you go. Wow.
This is just dumb. Okay.
I really think Bourne Identity would have been the nice scapegoat, but that's all right.
No.
I'm not married. I'm not married to the idea.
No, in my opinion, next to the other films, it's too disposable. That's my only issue.
Okay.
So, to me, it's the most disposable one of the bunch, even though I love the movie.
All right. Gangs of New York, Catch Me If You Can, Minority Report are left.
God. What the hell are we doing? Can I just make an executive decision?
No.
No.
Well, okay, go ahead. Make an Try. Do your best. See what you can do.
Just put in Gangs of New York.
You want to induct Gangs of New York?
Fuck it.
Cross off a name, please. All right, Catch Me If You Can is off the list. So I'm stuck with Gangs of New York and Minority Report.
That should make it a little easier for you.
All right, so the argument for Minority Report would be
it doesn't have any impact, and as far as legacy is concerned, I mean,
fonder than Gangs of New York, right?
I guess the only thing it's got is like some cultural conversation, but that didn't last very long. So in my opinion,
yeah, but same with Gangs of New York, though.
Yeah, well, exactly. So it's like both arguments. I think it just comes down to quality here. I think impact and legacy, I just don't care about for either of these films.
Okay.
I don't think they have much of either.
It just seems very silly to me that Gangs of New York would be the best movie of the year. That just doesn't sound right. I say it out loud. It just doesn't. Because to me, I don't think about this movie the same way you do, it seems like. Like, I think about this movie as escapism and and like just a rollicking good time.
It is a rollicking good time. I don't know though. I think
like it's almost a guilty pleasure. It's not quite a guilty pleasure, but it's kind of in that category.
No, it's really good. It's really, really good.
I still think Bourne Identity would have been a good answer,
No.
but you don't like it in terms of quality, and I won't dispute it. I don't think it's the best movie on the list. I don't think it's the best. I think Catch Me If You Can, you were right to cross off because it is kind of disposable as well, although it's a lot of fun.
I think well-rounded in terms, like I said, I think it's my second favorite on the list in a weird way.
On principle, I don't want to put Spider-Man in, and Panic Room, as we said, is just insignificant. And now might have been a good time to have Punch Drunk Love on the list.
Yeah.
But we can't do that now.
What a confusing list.
All right, so I got to choose here. Minority Report or Gangs of New York?
I've had more conversations, I guess, about Gangs of New York, if it means anything. I mean, I don't think I've ever talked with anybody who has seen Minority Report other than you. I guess. Again, though, I think it's purely by coincidence with Gangs of New York. I still don't think many people have seen this movie either. I don't know.
All right. Well,
I don't know. What are you doing?
Congratulations to Martin Scorsese's Gangs of New York. You have earned a spot in the movie Hall of Fame. Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it was ever going to be a good one.
I don't think we would have been happy with any choice. I think that's right.
We should just put Panic Room in there. Just get David Fincher in there. He's not in yet. We could have done that. You know, we could have done that.
I mean, I feel good about the fact that Departed isn't in there. Right? So now this is sort of the representative from the 21st century.
I suppose, but
I mean, there's now going to be 4 Scorsese movies in the Movie Hall of Fame.
This is, to me, it's the most insignificant inductee I think that we've ever had.
Yeah, I think that's right.
When you think about it, yeah.
Yeah, even The Princess Bride was more significant.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, not even close.
Yeah, this is the one. Well, I mean, aside from, I guess, Batman, or one of those, you know,
not even Batman. Yeah.
Iron Man. Isn't Iron Man in the Movie Hall of Fame now?
That's pretty significant.
Yeah, I think you're right. Gangs of New York just doesn't. No, but it's a really good movie. You know what? I'm talking myself into it. I'm good with it. I'm okay with it.
It's fine. Yeah, it's not. It's like okay, whatever.
I'm okay with it.
It's just that one. It's just 2002.
It's a weird year.
It's just that weird old 2002.
One of the stranger years we've ever had.
Yeah. I'm conflicted.
That's okay, though.
So is this just inevitably leading to Social Network getting in, and that's it? That's the only Fincher film we get?
Yeah. That'll be in. Yeah. Well, maybe one day we'll figure out a way to squeeze something in.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of time. Plenty of podcasts still to make.
I still admit that I fucked up with 1999, and I should have just let you had The Matrix, and I had Fight Club, but...
It's okay.
I got ahead of myself. I got indulgent. I admit it.
You?
I got a little indulgent. Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah. Oh, look who's talking. Mr. 5 podcasts a week or whatever.
So, next week, we'll be back with our regularly scheduled programming. 1962 is on the docket. Manchurian Candidate, Lawrence of Arabia, The Longest Day, Lolita, and a couple others.
Whatever.
Dr. No. To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I thought you said To Kill a Mockingbird, but I was wrong.
Those are your 6 movies to catch up for by next week's program. And then we're going to get interesting. We have a Stephen King podcast.
Yeah, we're trying to do that, which I think
coming at some point.
That'll be fun.
We may be looking into some Disney movies.
We're going to do weird categories, which I like. I like doing our categories every once in a while.
Yeah, those are fun. So we'll change it up in a couple weeks. And look, there's still plenty of movies to come out this fall that I think we're going to have to devote an entire podcast to. So those will be coming in November as well. Mm-hmm. Check out everything else on the website, too. We did an El Camino podcast.
Yeah, we did. That was exciting.
That was a fun debate.
Yeah.
Rob was on that one, as was Nick. Why is this a thing? We covered Blair Witch 2.
Which we have not released yet, am I correct?
Well, that'll be out by the time they hear this.
Oh, boy.
And, and I also performed a play that I wrote at age 10 on the Nico Show this week.
I'm shaking my head at Nico right now. I know you can't see that, but I'm doing it.
That's all available. TMT.media or Too Many Thoughts Media.com. You know I love you so very, very much, as does Adam sometimes.
Wow.
And until the next time we meet.
I'm Spider-Man.
Really?